sports writers who never fake an injury.
I don't think I can go today.
Today,
I can't go.
Zen Master stirring it, Carcillo wrecking it, Morales breaking it, and Mike Conway smithereening it.
Man.
We've got 10 topics and one winner. Let's do it.
Oh, get it.
Oh, I'm glad he could dance.
It's Around the Horn, the show of competitive banter. Here's Tony Reale.
That's right, we're back.
What do you say? What do you know? Welcome back to the show that scores the argument. In Los Angeles, Bill Plaschke.
Tony, the NBA Finals is not yet over, but it's close.
Yes. Paige is in Denver.
I told you no dog power.
Kevin Blackistone in D.C.
Hot off the grill, Kevin Blackistone.
And let me introduce you to Michael.
What are you, 137 years old? You mean to tell me you had a pair of glasses lying around somewhere? All of us wearing glasses.
Hold on
Come
a second, Smith. Hold on a second. Are you matching your shirt with your background now? Is that what's happening?
You got to coordinate.
Let's go to work.
It's the first word.
All right. Of all the NBA Finals previews I've read, Plaschke, yours was one of them. Your line. This is Plaschke's line. Lakers Celtics, a phrase as common in the sports lexicon as Paul Pierce is a flopper. That killed me, Bill. Good thing Jackie or Bob aren't here to kill you. What we have here, two teams, two cities, a bunch of sports writers that plain don't like each other, which is why it was good to see Phil yesterday stirring it up. Quote, we don't have a smackdown mentality. We don't go out there and smack people around. End quote. Will this talk fire up the Celtics, the Lakers, the referees, Plaschke?
First off, Tony, I'm sure you read my story in the newspaper, right?
I read it online, but that's okay.
Anyway, yes, actually, this will be great. This is not about the Celtics. Usually it's about the other team. This time it's about the Lakers. Phil is telling the Lakers, he's reminding them to get tougher. This is directly a message to Pau Gasol, who has to guard Kevin Garnett. He's basically saying, Pau, they've got the smackdown mentality. Do you have it? Throughout the season, this is how Phil has sent messages to Pau, because he thinks Pau needs to be tougher. He said it in the media. He does it that way. Pau apparently hears it better that way. That's what Phil's talking about. He's preparing his team.
So you think this was to the Lakers? How about you, Paige?
All about the Lakers right now, yes.
Well, does this make you feel better, Michael?
Much better.
Color coordinated. Well, he's sending a message again, trying to the officials. It's not about Powell. He's trying to say to the officials, once again, we don't have a guy traveling. We don't have a guy getting the free throw line. We have a guy on the other team that's trying to bang everybody up. He is trying to say, and he's right, your team is out there, Bill, is not physical. It's a finesse team. That the other team from the Western Conference teams are more of faster finesse teams, while the Eastern Conference tougher physically and mentally, and that's exactly what you got in this series. So he is trying to level the playing field, as he always does in every series, every year.
Okay,
he comes out before it starts and goes,
well, this is brilliant again. I mean, this is a reminder to the referees that the other team is more physical, as Woody just said. And guess what? That's going to play into the Lakers' favor this time, because this isn't Dwight Howard, who you can beat up on and send to the free throw line and watch him shoot just 50%. This is Paul Gasol, who's a much better free throw shooter. The other thing that's going on here, though, is that this is not the same team from 2 years ago. This is, in fact, a tough Lakers team. In fact, I would argue the toughest guy in this entire series is Kobe Bryant. Then you get Ron Artest into the mix. He wasn't there 2 years ago. Andrew Bynum is going to be on that gimpy knee, but he brings a physicality to that team that wasn't there last time. And then you got Derek Fisher, who is one of the toughest veterans in all of the NBA. So this is a tough team, but he's also saying, watch the fouls on my big guy, call him, and let me get some free throws.
Michael Smith, what do you think?
Well, your first question was, is Phil trying to fire up the Lakers or the Celtics? If it's the NBA Finals, it's Lakers-Celtics, nobody needs any firing up. I think it was another honest observation on the part of Phil Jackson, because if you look at the Lakers' road to the Finals, Oklahoma City, Utah, Phoenix, none of those teams challenged the Lakers. The Lakers have had a superior size. Wait a minute. A superior size advantage I'm talking about. They've had their way in the paint with everybody that they played because of their height advantage with their big men. Well, what are the Celtics' game plan? We know what it is. It's to beat those guys up. It's to put Kendrick Perkins, the toughest post defender in the league, and Kevin Garnett, the former Defensive Player of the Year, even Baby Davis, Rasheed Wallace. They're going to come in. They're going to body him. They're going to try to get under their skin, get in their heads, try to intimidate him. They took their lunch money 2 years ago. That's going to be the game plan against the Lakers this time.
Okay.
To try to beat them up, they have to be ready for it.
Initial thoughts heading into the series, other than it's almost over, Plaschke?
I think Michael's right. This is a different, and so is Kevin, a different team than 2 years ago. The Lakers are going to win this series, and probably in 7 games. It'll be a tough series, but they are tougher, and Ron Artest is nuts, and he could be the difference in this
Woody
series.
Page?
Well, I still like the Lakers, but I think the Celtics will have a slight advantage because in this series, unlike all the other playoffs, the visiting team gets those 3 games in the middle. And that will give them a chance to be at home, to have time to rest, not be traveling cross-country. So I think that does work to the Celtics today.
This is all about Kobe. I mean, I know it's a cliche to say that you refuse to lose, but that's what we saw from Kobe Bryant in the last series. When he spun away from that double team and Grant Hill's right in his face and dropped that 3, unbelievable tenacity this guy has.
2 years ago, we underestimated the Celtics, their ability to defend, and especially Doc Rivers. I don't think we should make that same mistake twice.
So I'm not going to ask for a prediction, Smith, but it sounds like you kind of like the Celtics heading into this series.
I'll wait for a couple of days. I was wrong.
I think that's why. No, I think that's all right.
I want to think.
I don't want somebody calling the series right now like you want to, Plashke.
Make your prediction, Michael. Make it.
The list.
Celtics.
Okay, he just did it.
He just did it.
Fine. All right. The list for that NBA free agent summit we've heard so much about. Expanding. LeBron, Wade, Johnson, Bosch wants it. Stoudemire now says he's pretty sure he'll get a call. Quote, I'm pretty sure I'll get a call. Mark Kreidler of ESPN.com wondered in print, and by in print I mean online, whether this conspiring, this collusion, which is totally within play if players do it, is the future of NBA negotiations. Does the free agent summit sit well with you, KB?
No, it makes me ill, in fact. I don't like anything about it. I mean, we're not talking about an AAU team here. You know, we're not talking about an intramural league where you go out and get your buddies. We're talking about the National Basketball Association. There happens to be a union here that represents all the players. You can't have a union within a union. This strikes me as being some type of elitist move on the part of these players. I just don't get it, and it seems to me to take something away from the spirit of competitive athleticism. That's what you want to see. You want to see if one guy's team can beat another guy's team. We know that if they could all get together, which couldn't happen, maybe they could beat everybody else. Okay. But it takes a lot away from me.
This doesn't smell right to you, it sounds like. Go ahead, Smith.
You know, Kevin, I mean this in all sincerity. I respect you as much as anybody else. I admire you and respect your opinion. But I honestly just do not see where you're coming from. I'm trying to see your point of view on this, but I really don't see what the problem is. Look, first of all, I think we've all made too much of this free agent summit. All Dwayne Wade said was that they were going to check in with each other and discuss it. Now we make it out to be like they're trying to corner, you know, trying to take over the world like Ren and Stimpy or somebody. Like, no, they're not. That's not what they're doing. For all we know, they could just be sitting down, discussing ideas, bouncing things off one another. I think it's a very mature, a very smart way of approaching this. This is a huge business decision for all of these guys at a critical point in their careers. For all we know, all these guys can end up re-signing with their former teams. Nobody's saying, none of them, as far as I know, have said, we're going to go and try to pick teams and figure out who's going to sign with each other, although that'd be a cool thing in my opinion. But there's nothing wrong with these guys sitting down, discussing their options, because what one of these guys does affects everybody else.
Woody Page, what do you think?
Well, I think, first of all, KB should turn around and look at that building behind him. That's full of elitists, and they meet all the time, every day, Blackstone. So what's wrong with that in a capitalistic society? The players, unlike the old days with the Celtics and the Lakers, can become free agents. They can collude just as the owners do, and I don't blame them. If I were them, and you got to make it a G6, you got to include Boozer in that group too. I think he's going to be an attractive. He is going to be an attractive player to a lot of teams. Definitely. So all 6 of them get together and they say, where do we want to go? And you've got to look at the teams that have the available money. If I'm Johnson, I want to follow Wade or I want to follow LeBron James. So why not 2 of them say, okay, we're going to go to the Nets. 2 of us will go to the Knicks.
So you've got no problem
and 2 of us will go to the Bulls or the Heat. No, I don't have any problem at all.
How about you?
I got a huge problem with it. Michael Smith, if this were the owners doing this, you'd be calling collusion in a minute, Michael. I've seen it before from you. Yes, you would. So why is this any different? This is, again, and Kevin's exactly right. There's a union. The union, these players are benefiting from the union rules by union bargaining position that affects the entire union. They can't leave that union now. They can't suddenly become a little, like Kevin said, a union within. That's not right. Again, I can't believe all Also, the bottom line is they're not going to do it. The agents won't let him do it. The union won't let him do it.
You don't think the agents
They
will?
won't do it. They won't do it.
Let's go back to Smith.
Won't let them have a discussion about their options and about what one another are thinking, maybe just to impart wisdom to one another. The reason it's different from the owners is because guess what? These guys are not signing the checks. They can't corner the market. All they can control is their services and discuss where they might go. So it's not collusion.
Blackstone.
It's not the same
Well,
thing
they
as the
can
owners
still
doing
go
it.
where they want to go, but just because one guy goes to X team and another guy goes to Y team shouldn't affect everybody else. I mean, you want the best situation for you, and you also want the best situation for all your comrades in the organization, and this doesn't help
Kevin,
them.
you know as well as I do, if they all suddenly show up in Maui accidentally and start having meetings, but you know at the end of those meetings or talks, they're all going to do what's best for them.
Plaschke.
It's going to be
Yeah,
about yourself.
I think Woody's right. The advisors are going to tell you know what? Take care of yourself. At the end of the day, these guys will take care of themselves.
Only the Knicks can afford to actually sign two of them anyway.
Well, maybe
Everybody
the
else gotta be a
Knicks,
sign
maybe the
trade.
Bulls,
But they
maybe
gotta
the
be
Heat
signing
as
trades,
well.
though.
We've been on. We need to run.